wait. One
What's
more thing.
up,
One more
ladies
thing.
and gentlemen? This is Two Dudes in a Rabbit Hole. I'm David.
I'm Gavin.
And I'm a rabbit hole. I'm Riley.
All right, we're going to be talking to you today about the AFC and NFC championship games. We're going to go over our picks. We're going to go in order. Gavin's going to take the 49ers versus the Eagles. Give us what you got, Gavin.
Oh man, this game is going to be awesome. It's probably well, at least the remaining teams are the top four best teams in the NFL, and it's two complete rosters going against each other. A hobbled, quote unquote, hobbled Jalen Hurts versus Brock Purdy. I have the Niners squeaking out a win against the Eagles, 24-21. My reasoning is I think that even though the Eagles, just like the Cowboys, have a very dominant defense, I think they have had certain matchups in the regular season where they haven't been able to stop the run as well. And the Niners are one of the best teams in the league to stop against the run. So I think they're going to probably depend on that. But if the Eagles are smart, they're going to try to take that away and force Brock Purdy to beat them. I think it's just going to be close, and whoever can force more turnovers or just get that one or two extra big plays will be the winner of this one. Other than that, I'm just excited because it's going to be like a giant chess match on both offense and defense, and I'm really looking forward to that game.
So personally, I'm going to start off with my score. I have the Niners taking the victory 28-21. I like the Eagles. I think it's a great turnaround for him. Jalen Hurts is very promising. But like we saw last week with Dallas stopped the run and tried to force Brock Purdy to beat him. And what did he do? He beat him. So I think he comes out and does the same thing, does what he's supposed to do. But I think the difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys defense is the Cowboys defense is a lot faster. And when it comes to the Niners, they do like to rush to the edge. And with Debo and Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell, who all get outside the tackles very well, I think it's just going to be too much for him.
Oh man, this is a great game, and I think at least one of these games ends up in a blowout. I'm not willing to predict that, but I think one of them probably does because whenever we do have good games, one of them turns out way different than we thought. This one could be that one. It could be Jalen Hurts is 5% slower and San Francisco is just a matchup nightmare because they really are like built to beat Philadelphia in a lot of ways with both their speed and their power. It's hard. I think I'm still going to go Philadelphia. I'm going to go 27-20. I don't feel like amazing about it or anything. This could easily be either team. And I think the biggest thing to look at is how the trenches go. I think both teams do have both good speed and like amazing playmakers. These are probably like two of the three most stacked playmaking teams, if you're including like the quarterback and their ability to move outside the pocket and run themselves. Probably two of the three, along with the Bengals. Like they're loaded, absolutely loaded here. I think I'm just super worried about San Francisco's secondary holding up. I think they can slow the run down. I don't know if you can really stop either of these teams running, but you can slow it down. I just worry that A.J. Brown's going to be too much, that if they have to shade over to A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith has a big game. They both had killer seasons. I want to say Smith was over 11 or almost 1,200 yards, and Brown was like 1,400 plus. And it's going to be really hard to stop that. It's the ultimate conundrum of, all right, we have to shade to this guy, we have to shade to that guy. Okay, just play too deep. Okay, now you can't stop the run. Bring anybody up. Great, they're taking shots over the top now. I love this game. I think Philadelphia takes it because the offensive weapons that match up so well against the 49ers secondary. You could convince me this goes either way, and you could convince me this is a blowout either way, quite frankly. I just hope it's great. I hope it's a great game. I hope it's close. I hope we get to see Purdy in a stressful moment either come through or fail, and we get the answers we need heading into next season if you're a 49ers fan. That's what I got.
I think those are all pretty good takes. We all summed it up pretty well. I'm going to take the Bengals versus the Chiefs. This is arguably one of my favorite matchups because it's going to be a rivalry for years to come. People are already saying it's the new Manning Brady matchup, but I don't know about that because you don't know how to classify who's who. I'm personally going to take the Bengals 31 to the Chiefs 28. There's a lot of trash talking going on, but what have the Bengals done year in and year out these last 2 years? Talk trash and let their play do the talking afterwards. I think Joe Burrow is just too good of a quarterback for the Chiefs defense, and the Chiefs defense struggled for most of the game to keep the Jaguars in check, which, nothing against the Jaguars, but they don't have the weapons that the Bengals do, and I feel like that's a real problem for Kansas City.
What do you have for it, Gavin?
I was about to defer it to you, Riley, but I'll go. So I also have the Bengals beating the Chiefs. I have, funny enough, didn't even know this was a thing, but I have the Bengals winning 27-24. So apparently, before the podcast, Riley had said that the previous two meetings, the final scores were 27-24. So I think that's absolutely hilarious. But I think the big swing on this one is the health of Mahomes. I can still see a scenario where Mahomes can win even if hobbled, just because that's how good he is as a quarterback, one, and two, how good of a play caller Andy Reid is. He has so many weapons now with Jerick McKinnon, Isaiah Pacheco, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, obviously, and Valdez-Scantling, along with Hardman, the other receiver. So I think the last 2 or 3 times they played, they basically were able to bracket both Kelce and Tyreek Hill. I think in this case, it's going to be a little bit harder to do that just because there's maybe not 2 really, really good guys, but at least like enough spread out to where you kind of spread out that defense. But I think the Bengals can do that. I also think that they're just going in really hot right now. Sky's the limit for them. And I mean, they were missing 3 offensive linemen and they outplayed the Bills in the snow. So that was a big surprise. And I think they can do it again. But it's definitely going to be close. I can definitely see it going either way. But I just have a kind of a weird gut feeling that the Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs with Mahomes hurt.
It kind of feels like both teams are going to talk themselves into everybody saying we're not supposed to win this. The Bengals, obviously, again, being the underdog over and over and over against the Chiefs, despite the victories against them, including in Arrowhead multiple times now. And then the Chiefs are going to look at it and go, everybody's saying Mahomes is hurt. Everybody's talking about how Burrow's, won over and over and over and blah, blah, blah. I feel like if I had to take a gander as to how this game goes, I feel like one team is up early, something like 17-7, like 17-3, maybe something like that, maybe like 14-6. And they just kind of like hold the lead as much as possible. One team will score and then they'll answer. And then all of a sudden, be like, oh, they're only down 3. And then they'll get a touchdown drive and they'll be back up 10. And I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to go 29-23. I know, weird score, but shit happens all the time where the numbers are just weird. So I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to have to be a comeback. I think it's going to be more a Bengals are down 9, they kick a field goal. Can the Chiefs keep the ball rolling? And all of a sudden you're like, shit, they're already at midfield. Oh, shit. Pacheco just picked up 2 more first downs. I still really like this Chiefs team. I really like the Bengals team. I think they're the 2 best teams in the AFC. I'm really glad we have this matchup. I'm really bummed Mahomes is hobbled. But maybe it'll just kind of keep him in check a little bit. Maybe he won't try and do so much hero ball. And the reason Mahomes is so special is not only is he the best at hero ball, he's the best, the second best, the third best at everything else, all the boring stuff at this point, after he got over just trying too hard like the first half of last season. I still like the Chiefs. I still think they get the job done. I think the Bengals can absolutely win this. And I'm super excited for whichever matchup we get in the Super Bowl. All right, cool. A lot of silence. And did I disconnect or something?
This Chiefs team, the difference between this year and last year is last year they had the real super deep threat with Tyreek Hill, and we don't see exactly a lot of that. It's more mid to short passes, which is easily containable, but you have to be able to stop it on third down is the problem. And that's what's going to really come down to for the Bengals.
Do you think they triple cover Travis Kelce? And I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, genuinely just go, anybody but Kelce can beat us.
I don't think they triple cover him, but they put a mixture of faster linebackers who are so strong, and then bigger safeties. You got to mix it up and throw everything else at him. You got it. And the biggest key, when I was watching and talking about the last game, was the Chiefs. The biggest time when Kelce struggled was when he was getting pushed off the line. And I'm not talking about the guy who's covering him, but I'm talking about the lineman that's lining up on him, actually getting a good chip on him.
Man, this game is going to be so good. Interestingly enough, the Chiefs actually ran the ball really well against the Bengals when they matched up back in early December. And the same goes in reverse. The Bengals ran the ball really well on the Chiefs. So we might see a lot more running than we expect. The Bengals were at 4.7 a carry or so between their running backs, and the Chiefs were over 5.
Well, when you run the ball or pass the ball so much, you know.
Yeah, they both. Wow, that's crazy to think. Yeah, that's really interesting to look at that. Burrow had 11 attempts. I'm going to guess some of those were kneel downs, but even then, like 5, 6, 7 runs is quite a bit for Burrow. And then looking at the other side, honestly, both teams just they threw the ball like some, but it wasn't like a crazy amount, especially for the Chiefs. The game was really slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a good and bad thing for them. They're going to try and keep it up, but I don't think they can. When you sit there and have to put your defense out there all the time because they're scoring so much or you're scoring so much, it sucks. But I don't think the Chiefs get up right away. And that's going to be the problem, is they're going to have to learn how to slow down the Bengals.
I don't think either team's going to have a necessarily fun time in this game. I don't think this is like a blowout either way. Like, I think 49ers Eagles could get ugly if one team shows, hey, we're actually winning the trenches. I think that could get ugly. Like, I have no idea which direction. If you made me choose, I actually probably would think the 49ers, just because I'm worried about the Lane Johnson injury. But this game, it's such an interesting dynamic to have these two teams that essentially were, if not irrelevant, close to irrelevant for like 30 seasons, if not 50 seasons in the Chiefs' case. And all of a sudden we're here where it's like, all right, second year in a row, this is for all the chips in the AFC. And it's just incredible. It's so refreshing not seeing the fucking Patriots and the Steelers here every single year.
Hey, but here's the thing. We have new Manning and Brady. Guess who's going to be our Big Ben?
Jared Stidham, I know.
Oh, no. God.
Got him.
You mean Deshaun Watson?
I mean, he's already the Big Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was really fucked up. I applaud that joke though.
All right, do we have anything else on these games, though?
I do want to do one more. Oh, Gavin, did you have anything else before I say something?
Uh, it's going to be really cool in the NFC because I think both of these quarterbacks, well, especially like Jalen Hurts, kind of his sort of coming out party is like I'm a top 5 quarterback and like watch me make a Super Bowl run. So this would be kind of like the Joe Burrow of the NFC. If he first time in the playoffs makes a Super Bowl run.
Second time, but yeah.
Oh yeah, right, because they played the Bucks.
Yes.
Gotcha. But yeah, so I'm just happy about that. And then for the Niners, if Purdy gets you to the Super Bowl, like that's just insane because that's a whole storyline over there of being the last pick of the draft and playing well, and then it's like, oh, next season is it him? Is it Trey Lance? Where does Jimmy go? Like all kinds of other fun stuff with that.
Interestingly enough, I think when most people say Manning and Brady, am I right in assuming they're thinking Mahomes is the Manning because of like all the physical gifts and all that, and Burrow is the Brady because like the cerebral, accurate passing and stuff? Or do I have that flipped somehow?
No, you have that right.
Okay, so here's my thought. Joe Burrow was the first pick and Manning was the first pick. That doesn't line up. That's the opposite. And then Mahomes sat a season before he became a starter. And shit, dude, I didn't even know who he was when he got drafted. I was like, who in the hell is this quarterback? Here's another Christian Ponder, I didn't know what was going on. Dude, I know that sounds crazy, but like nobody saw this coming other than the people like in the Chiefs building,
Yeah.
Also, if you
And
think about the coaches too, like Andy Reid versus Zach Taylor, Andy Reid is more closely associated probably with your boy down in New England. So
You mean
has to
Satan?
be. Yes, we do
Yeah.
mean Satan. Yeah. It's weird because like I totally get the physical profile and the physical gifts. And then the funny part is both these guys are way more mobile than Manning or Brady ever was. And I don't mean specifically like the ability to slide in the pocket, which I think they actually
No, the
both
ability
do.
to actually physically move.
Yeah, like they both can slide in the pocket really well. Like Brady was a master at it and Manning got really freaking good at it. And yeah, these guys can actually move though. I think like the physical gifts in terms of like an amazing arm for Mahomes and Manning matches up. I think everything else is basically wrong here, other than people thinking Manning came before Brady and Mahomes came before Burrow. And then you end up where you take Brady over Manning and you take Burrow over Mahomes. Like, that's the only real correlation I see here. I don't really see what everybody else is saying about the Brady Manning comparison. I hope it's that iconic of a rivalry. And then I'm assuming you mean Josh Allen gets the Big Ben spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also just the fact that it's like, oh, these are going to be the top 2 quarterbacks for the next 10 plus years.
I figured
So
out Justin Herbert is. Justin Herbert's Phillip Rivers. No shit, Riley.
Quite literally.
I understand
he's
they're
never going to
completely
make it out
different
of the
players.
first or
I
second.
totally get that, but yeah, I mean, it just fits. I'm sorry, Chargers fans, if that's the case. I actually
Streaky,
believe in
if you
Herbert.
ever find this, I'm not sorry.
Streaky, I want you to know, and I think I've said this to you. I genuinely think if Herbert doesn't win a championship in like the next decade or so of the Chargers, it's a disappointment. Like that's the level of expectation I have for him because he's that good. I think he's getting fucked by the coaching staff, but at least they cleaned half the house with the coordinator firing. So
Fair enough.
yeah. Okay.
the
Last
start.
thing.
what was
Let's
your last
very
thing?
quickly. I'll give you 10 seconds. This is for all of us. What matchup do you want to see the most? Second, third, and fourth for the Super Bowl.
Personally, I want to see the Bengals and Niners. I think that's
Bengals.
a fucking cool ass gunslinging showdown in the Super Bowl.
Wait,
Because
I have that fourth.
if you see the Niners and Chiefs, the Niners have a way better defense. They're gonna get after the Chiefs, and they're gonna after Mahomes. They're gonna hit his fucking ankle. It's not gonna be fun. I think it ends up being more of a blowout than people think. I think if it's
I
Eagles
don't
and
know. I saw
Chiefs,
that last
I
time.
think
Keep going.
I think it's if it's the Eagles and the Eagles have a freak of nature pass rush, and that doesn't bode well for Patrick Mahomes when he's hobbled.
Oh man, the Patrick Mahomes line. You really are a Raiders fan. Keep going.
I mean, I'm just saying, I've had my fair share of ankle sprains, and I remember my last one. I literally couldn't walk for a month.
Do you remember Patrick Mahomes' last one?
Yeah, he played through it in the Super Bowl and he lost.
No, there was a more recent one, and that's not so much the one I'm talking about. That was an offensive line depth. That's basically being behind the Bengals offensive line with the ankle injury. He actually sprained his
on
ankle
all the
pretty
linemen
bad.
too.
Yes, he sprained his ankle pretty bad at the start of this year, and or was it last year? One of the two, whatever. And he only completed like 70% of his passes, like no interceptions, 5 or 6 touchdowns, and won both games and kicked the shit out of the teams. No biggie. I don't think it's gonna be as much of an issue as people think.
Oh no, I think
Just because
Regular
I think
Mahomes stuff.
can do all this other stuff so well. And I also think what the Bengals did last year.
hand the ball off.
Yeah, I'm not worried. You got a week to get that. You get that shit injected before you go out there.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. You know
and
that.
I foresee the Bengals going after that. Like I know it's not it's frowned upon,
All right.
but I see him going after it.
I'll bet you 20 on it.
You'll bet me 20 on what?
I'll take the Chiefs. That's my bet.
Okay, I'm
Chiefs
taking
to
the
win.
Bengals.
All right,
Bengals to win. $20.
$2,000. You heard it here first.
$20. $20. 20.
Okay. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
He's trying to get out of debt. I get it.
Okay,
That's a lot of
who do you
zeros.
want to see the most, Gavin? Who do you want to see? I would need over 80 grand. Thank you. Who do you
Jesus.
have? Yeah, welcome to fucking school. It's gonna get twice as bad once we go to vet school. Anyway, who do you want the most, Gavin? Who are you most excited about here?
I think I'm with David on the Niners Bengals, but also I would like to see Eagles Bengals as well. I think the Eagles Bengals would be interesting because it's kind of the same young, amazing college quarterbacks have in their short stints in the NFL have led them to the Super Bowl, and it's like one of those guys is going to walk out with the chip. And I mean, it would suck for Joe Burrow if he lost that game, because then he'd be 0-2 in Super Bowls. And yeah, that would just be brutal. But I think those two, and then I mean, Chiefs Niners, and then Chiefs Eagles are probably 3 and 4. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be fun, and with my bias, I obviously want the Niners to win because we've been close so many times. So
I feel like I'm the total opposite of what you guys are. I have Bengals Niners last on my list, and that's like with all due respect to them. I think all of these matchups are like 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. So like it's no slight. Like any of these matchups are better than last year and better than the year before and the year before that. Just saying. And I kind of want to see Chiefs Eagles. Give me Andy Reid against Philadelphia. Give me Jalen Hurts potentially winning a Super Bowl and breaking out. Give me Mahomes potentially getting a second. I love that so much.
You want the Andy Reid Bowl? That's what you want?
It would be fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I think second is probably Bengals Eagles, because I think that could actually break like scoring records. potentially, which sounds crazy, but I actually think that. Actually, I think Bengals 49ers might too. I'd probably put that fourth and give me whatever I was saying. Bengals 49ers fourth, so Chiefs
I heard
49ers third. That'd be a fun rematch. I'm not opposed to it at all. Like it'd be really cool. I
I
do
heard
like
Bengals
I do
49ers
like
won for Riley. That was kind of weird.
say again.
I said I heard from your mouth that Bengals 49ers number 1,
Oh
Yep,
man.
and
yep,
then
that's
Andy
absolutely
Reid
right.
Bowles number 2.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just not interested in it. I'm sorry. It's not that I'm not interested. It's just I would love to see this Philly team. And yeah, I don't know. I think any of these matchups is great. I'm excited regardless because I don't have a stake in this. I don't give a shit
Neither
who
do
wins,
I.
really.
Well, I mean,
Like,
there's
I'll
one more
care a little
team
bit.
that I need
Yeah.
to get to go away.
Real quick, are any of you like AFC, NFC guys? Because I'm actually an AFC guy where other than the Patriots, I'm basically always rooting for the AFC. Except for like last year, I was really invested in the Rams because they were my preseason pick. Other than that, I'm usually just like, go AFC, go AFC.
No,
Uh,
I have a little bit of a bias though. If I see another Bay Area team with the chance to go to the Super Bowl, I'm not afraid to go with it. I know that's sacrilege to a lot of Raiders fans, but like we're not even in the same fucking conference.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not even in
well, I
this.
mean,
Wait, I'm in the Raiders.
yeah, you're in a whole different state.
yeah, we're in a whole different state now. Like, we're a whole different state, and even when we were in the same state, we're in different fucking conferences. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Shout out the NFL expanding into Europe and forcing 2 AFC teams to the NFC and then adding 4 Europe teams to the AFC. Anyway, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah,
That's
but
all I got. What about anything else for you guys?
no, nothing for me.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
that's gonna wrap it up for us today, folks. Go ahead, drop a like, comment, subscribe, do what you do.